The reason why we procrastinate is because we don't want to do a task that needs to get done. Not that we don't want the outcome of it getting done, we simply just don't want to do the task. And this is because we don't have energy towards the task. Whatever you have energy towards, you're going to desire. For example, if there's a girl I like, I'm going to have emotional energy towards talking to her, and that's going to make me desire to talk to her more. In the same way, when we have energy towards a task, we're going to desire to do that task more and thus be less likely to procrastinate on the task. So the question is, how can we build more energy? And there's three ways we can use mental frames, mental tricks to have more energy towards the task that we want to do. The first way is through building anticipation. Anticipation is the energy I get from having a good expectation. An expectation is a future imagined outcome. It's what we make up in our minds about the future. So when we make up good things about the future, we're building anticipation. We're building energy towards getting the outcome we have made up. For example, going back to the example of the girl, if I expect her to say yes if I ask her out, I'm building anticipation towards doing so, and that's going to give me energy towards doing so because I have a favorable outcome that I imagine. In the same way, we can do that mental trick with our tasks. If I'm writing a book and I expect 1,000,000 copies to be sold next week, that's going to give me energy towards completing the book because of the favorable outcome. So by having good expectations and building anticipation, you will be less likely to procrastinate because you desire to get the task done more. The second way we can use mental tricks to build more energy for ourselves is through having dread. Dread sounds like a bad thing, but in reality, when you frame it a good way, it can help you to stop procrastination. Because dread is the energy I get from having a bad expectation. So it's basically the opposite of anticipation. Going back to the example, if I thought to myself, hey, if I ask this person out, she's going to say no. Well, now I'm going to have energy against doing that, and it's going to make me less likely to do that or procrastinate on doing that because I'm not expecting a good outcome. Same way with our tasks. And this is the frame many people have. They say, man, it doesn't matter if I study, I'm not going to get a good grade. Man, it doesn't matter if I practice, I suck. Man, it doesn't matter. And they have all these bad expectations. And what that's doing is producing or is directing energy against the favorable outcome they truly desire. If I'm playing basketball and I expect to miss the shot, well, that's going to make me have dread towards taking the shot. I'm not going to want to take the shot because of my bad outcome that I'm expecting. So, how can we use dread in a good way? But we do it by framing it from the bad. If I say, man, if I don't ask her out, someone else is going to, well, that bad expectation of someone else is going to actually produce energy or direct energy towards asking her out because I don't want the bad outcome to happen. In the same way, with doing our task, if I say, man, if I don't get this task done, I'm going to fail the class. Man, if I don't get this task done, I'm not going to graduate my grade high school or college. If I have these bad expectations, I'm going to produce energy against that outcome, energy against not studying, energy against not getting tasks done. And instead, naturally, my energy flows to the opposite product. It's energy towards getting tasks done, energy towards the desire I want to have. That's how we use dread to have more energy and thus more desire. The third way is one of my favorite ways, and this is urgency. Urgency is the energy I apply to a task that needs to get done. For example, when I was writing this book, I built urgency for myself. I said, hey, I gotta finish this book by summer. And what that did, what that imaginary deadline did, was create more urgency. I said, okay, I gotta get this task done, so I'm gonna put more effort towards doing that. And effort is actually energy. So by spending more effort, I'm spending more energy. So because of that deadline, I had to put forth more effort in order to meet that standard I set for myself. That urgency made me less likely to procrastinate. And without that imaginary deadline, that expectation that I had, who knows when I would have finished this book. And that's the same way with all our tasks. When we have a sense of urgency by building some type of deadline or having some type of expectation that way, we can have more energy towards the task that needs to get done and be more likely to put forth effort into finishing the task. For example, if I have a project due 2 weeks from now, I'm not going to have a lot of urgency, a lot of energy I need to apply to the task because the deadline's so far in the future. But if I mentally push that deadline ahead and say, hey, this project is due in 3 days, well, that requires me to put forth more energy. It requires me to put forth more effort. It makes it more urgent. And because it's more urgent, I'm less likely to procrastinate on it. If using the same example, if I say, man, if I don't ask her out, someone else is going to in 2 weeks, more urgency towards that task that I want to get done. That's how we avoid procrastination. We create more energy for ourselves, or we direct our energy in a different way. And by doing so, we will be more likely to complete the task that we want to do. If this video helped you out, make sure to subscribe to this channel. I try to post at least one video every week and a short every single day. I also wrote a book on how to become more influential. The message is, when I control and I can control, I'll influence others to do the same. When I decide, hey, I'm going to have a deadline, I'm going to stop procrastinating, and I'm going to actually put forth effort, others are inspired to follow my example. They see my good results and they want to adopt my way of thinking. That's what this book tells you how to do, how to master that. So if you want to do this, make sure the link in the description has my website, has Amazon link to buy the book. You get a Kindle version, or you can get a actual version, a paperback copy like this one, or DM me on Alston_inspiration.daily, and I'll give you a free PDF copy of the book. So check that out, and thank you guys for watching.